Hello aspirants and welcome to EduMiles Academy. In today's session, we'll discuss some important newspaper articles from 14 February 2023. For more study materials and updates, you may also join our WhatsApp group. We'll provide the link of the group in the description below. So the date as it says, 14 February. So as we all know, it's a day of love, right? So to all the lovebirds watching this video, I would like to wish you a very happy Valentine's Day. And to the ones who are single currently, I would like to wish you a very happy Independence Day. So this is the list of topics that we'll cover in today's session. Let's start. The first article is about a person who played a very significant role in the freedom struggle of India. So her name is Sarojini Naidu. She is also known as the Nightingale of India. So 13 February, that is Kal Ka Din, it marks the birth anniversary of Sarojini Naidu. And she was also famously known as Bharatiya Kokila, that is the Nightingale of India. इन्हीं के बारे में हम कुछ facts देखेंगे which can be important for our prelims and also from the mains perspective it can be important from GS paper 1, the modern Indian history point of view. It's been taken from the Indian Express. So if you talk about the current context, so Kal Ka Din, the 13th of February, it marks the birth anniversary of Sarojini Naidu. ठीक है, अब अगर हम देखेंगे इंडिया के बारे में, तो इंडिया celebrates Sarojini Naidu's birth anniversary as the National Women's Day. You should also know this is an International Women's Day जो हम 8 मार्च को सेलिब्रेट करते हैं, but इंडिया का जो नेशनल वुमेन्स डे है, it is on 13th of February, and this day is basically celebrated in India to commemorate and as a tribute to the achievement and the contributions of Sarojini Naidu. Now, if you look at the life of Sarojini Naidu, then she was an Indian independence activist. So this basically we all know her about, right? But she was also a poet and a brilliant politician. So she was born on February 13, 1879 in Hyderabad, India. She joined the Indian national movement in the wake of the partition of Bengal in 1905. So you can see like in quite an early age, she basically joined the freedom struggle for India. तो यहाँ पे उन्होंने पहले जो यहाँ पे आप कह सकते हो the first movement that she was a part of was the Swadeshi movement of 1905, right? So the British government lauded Sarojini Naidu with Kesari Hind medal for her service during the plague epidemic in India. अब याद रखिएगा, she was not awarded with this particular medal because she took part in the freedom movement because that was against Britisher, right? अब उनको ये जो medal है केसरी हिंद medal इसीलिए दिया गया था because she played a very important role, a very significant role in service during the during the plague epidemic in India. Now let's learn about some of the contributions and achievements of Sarojini Naidu in the Indian freedom struggle because यही से normally आपको पूछेगा question. तो she was the first Indian woman president of the INC. याद रखिएगा, first Indian woman because यहाँ पे first woman का अगर हम बात करेंगे it was Annie Besant in 1917, ठीक है? But she was the first Indian woman president of the INC. तो Sarojini Naidu was elected as the first Indian woman president of the INC in 1925 का session. कभी आपको पूछेगा कि ये कहाँ पे हुआ था? It was in Kanpur and continued to hold this position till 1928. So Annie Besant was the first woman president of the INC who presided in 1917. अगर आपको पूछेगा first woman president के बारे में, it is Annie Besant, and the first Indian woman, it was Sarojini Naidu. She also participated in the non-cooperation movement. So Naidu took part in the non-cooperation movement. It is one of the first mass-based political movement of Gandhiji. So Naidu took part in the non-cooperation movement launched by Gandhiji in 1920. And she was also arrested several times for her involvement in various freedom activities. All right, इनको arrest भी किया गया था. And finally, if we talk about the civil disobedience movement के बारे में, तो she also led the salt सत्याग्रह. अब याद रखिएगा, she was not a part of the Dandi March, ठीक है? But she was basically, आप कह सकते हो कि she was assigned by Gandhi ji to to lead the salt सत्याग्रह at a different place in Gujarat only, but not in Dandi, ठीक है? So in 1930, Naidu was selected by Gandhi to lead the salt सत्याग्रह, a non-violent protest against the British monopoly. This was basically a part of the civil disobedience movement, monopoly against the salt production in India. तो सरोजनी, आपको पता होगा कि ये जो दांडी मार्च है, so दांडी मार्च was a march from the साबरमती आश्रम to दांडी, जो कि गांधी जी ने लीड किया था with some of his followers. तो ये जो दांडी मार्च था, it had started on 12th of March 1930 में, ठीक है? और फाइनली आफ्टर 24 डेज गांधी पहुंच गए थे 5th of April 1930 में, और 6th of April में उन्होंने लॉन्च किया था सिविल डिसऑर्डनेंस मूवमेंट बाय आप कह सकते हो कि बाय ब्रेकिंग द सॉल्ट लॉ, ठीक है? बट इनका जो ये आप देखोगे सरोजिनी नायडू का जो ये सॉल्ट सत्याग्रह है, now this was actually at a place called Dharsana, ठीक है? So on May 21st, Sarojini Naidu led 2,500 marchers on the Dharsana salt works, some 150 miles north of Bombay. And this is ये जो place है Dharsana, आपको पता होगा कि दांडी जो है, it is a coastal village of Gujarat. Similarly, Dharsana is also coastal place in Gujarat only. But यहाँ पे आप देखोगे, if you look at distance यहाँ पे it is around some 2 hours from Dandi, ठीक है? So basically, Mahatma Gandhi and Sarojini Naidu led the salt satyagrah at different places in Gujarat only. And finally, about the Quit India movement, in 1942, Sarojini Naidu was arrested during the Quit India movement and jailed for 21 months with Gandhi ji. You will find ये जो Quit India movement है, इस movement को कहा जाता है leaderless movement. अब क्यों कहा जाता है? Because most of the important leaders who were participating in the Quit India movement, इनको arrest किया जाता है right on the starting of the movement only. ठीक है? तो this is the reason why ये movement को कहा जाता है a leaderless movement. And also you'll find that she traveled a number of times to abroad to raise awareness as well. So Naidu traveled to different countries, including the US and the UK, to raise awareness about India's freedom struggle and to mobilize international support as well. She also represented India at various international forums and spoke about the Indian independence movement and women's rights as well. So this was basically some of the contributions of Sarojini Naidu in the Indian freedom movement. Now let's talk about some of the contributions of Sarojini Naidu as a politician. तो पहले मैंने आपको already mention किया हुआ है that she took part or she was the president of the INC in the 1925 session of Kanpur of the INC, and finally also she took part in the second roundtable conference. अब देखिए आपको पता होगा कि first roundtable conference में she did not take part, and also you'll find Gandhi ji या यहाँ पे जो INC है it completely boycotted the first roundtable conference. But after the Gandhi Irwin Pact of 1931, they finally decided that at least the Congress decided that we would take part in the second roundtable conference. So she accompanied Gandhi ji to London for the inconclusive. इसे कहा जाता है inconclusive. Why? Because of differences of opinion between the Congress and the British counterpart. तो यहाँ पे कुछ भी ऐसा decision नहीं आया था. ठीक है? So this is the reason why this has been termed as inconclusive second roundtable conference for India-British cooperation in the year 1931. And also she was, after independence of India, she also became the governor of Uttar Pradesh. ये पूछेगा आपको. So after India's independence, Naidu was appointed as the governor of Uttar Pradesh, becoming the first woman to hold a governor's office in India. And finally, if you look at some of the other contributions of Sarojini Naidu, she was a renowned poetess, as I already mentioned. So Naidu was a renowned poetess and wrote in both English and Urdu. So published in 1912 in the Bazaars of Hyderabad. So it remains one of our most popular poems. याद रखिएगा, in the Bazaars of Hyderabad. And also if we talk about some other works of Naidu के बारे में, so it was the Golden Threshold of 1905, the Bird of Time 1912, and the Broken Wing of 1912. So these were some of the works. और ये जो Golden Threshold, this has been asked in the UPSC as well. Okay? And finally, if we talk about her relevance of Sarojini Naidu in present times में, so she was a multifaceted personality and remains a role model for women in India and around the world, not just in the time when she lived, but also in current times as well. Her courage, her dedication and leadership inspired millions of Indians and continue to inspire generations to come. इस टॉपिक के बेसिस पर दो पुलिस प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चन है, काइंडली आंसर इन द कमेंट सेक्शन. द नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल फॉर द डे इज अबाउट द इंडिया एनर्जी वीक के बारे में. ठीक है? तो ये जो वीक है, दिस हैज बीन ऑब्जर्व्ड इन बैंगलोर, कर्नाटका में. ठीक है? सो ऑन February 6 of 2023, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi so inaugurated this particular India Energy Week in Bangalore in Karnataka. ठीक है? तो इसी के बारे में हम बात करेंगे about the various decisions that have been taken in this energy week. This can be important for our prelims and also for means it can be important for our GS paper consumption point of view. It has been taken from the Press Information Bureau. So the current context, the Prime Minister Modi had basically inaugurated this particular meeting in Bangalore, Karnataka. So the PM also launched ये जो Indian Energy Week है, तो इसी Indian Energy Week में यहाँ पे इन्होंने लॉन्च किया है दो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है. The first one is the E20 fuel. देखिए, एक हो गया E20 fuel और दूसरा हो गया यहाँ पे Green Mobility Rally. ठीक है? हम इसी के बारे में हम बात करेंगे थ्रू दिस आर्टिकल अबाउट द E20 फ्यूल. अब E20 जो फ्यूल है, इट इज बेसिकली ब्लेंडिंग ऑफ द इथेनॉल विद द पेट्रोलियम. ठीक है? एट 84 रिटेल आउटलेट्स में इसे ओपन किया गया इन 11 स्टेट्स एंड यूटीज. दिस याद रखिएगा, दिस ऑल आर नॉट इन बैंगलोर. ठीक है? ये 11 स्टेट्स एंड यूटीज में एट द सेम टाइम इनको ओपन किया गया है. एंड ऑल्सो फ्लैग्ड ऑफ द ग्रीन मोबिलिटी रैली ऑर्गेनाइज्ड बाय द HPCL, दैट इज द हिंदुस्तान पेट्रोलियम कॉर्पोरेशन लिमिटेड. नाउ दे आर ऑर्गेनाइजिंग अ मोबिलिटी रैली which is known as the Green Mobility Rally. अब इसी को इनॉग्रेट किया है पीएम साहब ने. ठीक है? सो पहले हम बात करेंगे अबाउट दिस E20 पेट्रोल के बारे में या E20 इथेनॉल फ्यूल के बारे में, एंड देन विल मूव ऑन टू टॉक अबाउट दिस ग्रीन मोबिलिटी रैली के बारे में. So, ethanol blending, you should know that this is a very important aspect of the current perspective of the government, because government देखिए अभी क्या होता है, Indian government का आपको पता होगा कि one of the most important aspect of the Indian government currently is आत्मनिर्भरता. ठीक है? We are basically trying to be self-dependent in nature by curbing the foreign dependence. और एक एरिया जहाँ पे हम बहुत ज़्यादा डिपेंड करता है on foreign nation is the petroleum और crude oil. तो crude oil पे हमारा जो डिपेंडेंस है वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा है. तो इसी डिपेंडेंस को कम करने के लिए, उसे कर्ब करने के लिए, उसे रिड्यूस करने के लिए we have we have brought about this policy of blending ethanol with the petroleum products. ठीक है, तो पेट्रोलियम के साथ हम क्या करते हैं, इथानॉल को हम ब्लेंड करते हैं. ठीक है, तो अभी के टाइम में अगर आप इफ यू विजिट अ पेट्रोल डिपो, नॉर्मली यू विल फाइंड E10 पेट्रोल. E10 मतलब 10% यहाँ पे इथानॉल ब्लेंड ऑलरेडी है. लेकिन इंडिया का क्या टारगेट है, इंडिया का टारगेट है कि बाय द ईयर 2025 इंडिया इज गोइंग टू ब्लेंड 20% इथानॉल. ठीक है, 20% इथानॉल विल बी ब्लेंडेड इन द पेट्रोल. ठीक है, सो इथानॉल यू शुड नो इट इज एन ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड. इथानॉल इज नेचुरली प्रोड्यूस्ड बाय द फर्मेंटेशन प्रोसेस ऑफ शुगर बाय yeast or via petrochemical process, and it can be produced from number of other like other agricultural producers as well. ठीक है, so ethanol blending program has been a very key focus area of the government of India to achieve the आत्मनिर्भरता in the field of energy. Energy में हमें काफी डिपेंड करना पड़ता है, इसी वजह से we are trying to curb the dependence by mixing ethanol. E20 is a blend of 20% ethanol with petrol. Currently आप देखोगे it is already E10 तो चल ही रहा है, तो the government is trying to blend more ethanol with the petrol. The government aims to achieve a complete 20% blending of ethanol by 2025, and HPCL, that is the Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited, and other oil marketing companies are setting up 2G and 3G ethanol plants that will facilitate the progress. तो यहाँ पे जो भी आप देखोगे जो ब्लेंडिंग के लिए यहाँ पे प्लान सेटअप किए गए हैं, प्लस फॉर द प्रोडक्शन एज वेल नंबर ऑफ स्टेट्स हैव बीन टेकिंग अप इनिशिएटिव, ताकि इथेनॉल का जो प्रोडक्शन है वो आप कह सकते हो कि उसे एनहेंस किया जाए, सो दैट इट कैन बी यूज्ड टू बी ब्लेंडेड इन द पेट्रोल. राइट. And if we finally talk about the achievements so far, so due to the sustained efforts of the government, ethanol production capacity has been 6 times increased since 2013 to 14. अब 13 to 14 में यहाँ पे इतना नेसेसिटी भी नहीं था, तो करंटली अभी क्योंकि इतना नेसेसिटी बढ़ गया है, तो इसीलिए यहाँ पे काफी स्टेट्स अभी आप देखोगे दे क्वाइट मोटिवेट फॉर द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ इथानॉल नाउ. द अचीवमेंट ऑन द इथानॉल ब्लेंडिंग प्रोग्राम एंड द बायोफ्यूल प्रोग्राम हैव नॉट ओनली ऑगमेंटेड इंडियाज एनर्जी सिक्योरिटी. अब देखिए क्योंकि हमने ऐसा किया है, तो डेफिनेटली जो एनर्जी सिक्योरिटी है वो काफी बढ़ गया, बिकॉज जो foreign dependence has been curbed, but also resulted in a host of other benefits, including reduction of 318 lakh metric tons of carbon dioxide emission. हम जब यहाँ पे विदाउट इथेनॉल ब्लेंडिंग हम जब पेट्रोल यूज करते हैं ना, तो उसमें जितना कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एमिशन होता है वो काफी कम हो जाता है as soon as you blend ethanol. ठीक है, so by blending ethanol we have already reduced 318 lakh metric tons of the carbon dioxide. ठीक है, तो इतना एमिशन हमने कम किया है, प्लस बिकॉज वी हैव curbed, as I told you, कि यहाँ पे जो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट क्या आत्मनिर्भरता है, that we are trying to lower our dependence, we are trying to curb the dependence on foreign nation. और क्योंकि हमने dependence कम किया है, because we have basically bought less petrol which have been replaced by ethanol now, तो इसीलिए we have secured a foreign exchange saving of around 54,000 crore. Now this value is also important, इतना हमने save कर लिया है by blending ethanol with petrol. तो चलिए बात करते हैं about the green mobility rally के बारे में. तो पहले बात मैं आपको ऑलरेडी बताया था कि this rally has been organized by the HPCL, जिसे inaugurate किया है PM साहब ने. तो दिस पर्पस ऑफ द ग्रीन मोबिलिटी रैली वाज टू रेज पब्लिक अवेयरनेस फॉर द ग्रीन फ्यूल्स. ठीक है, तो अभी आप देखो कि नॉर्मली हम जब भी wherever we drive a vehicle, तो नॉर्मली we depend on the sources on the conventional sources like पेट्रोल या डीजल, है कि नहीं. अब यहाँ पे जो लोगों के मन में एक अवेयरनेस यहाँ पे लाने के लिए ये रैली किया गया था, सो दैट द पीपल हैव गॉट अ लर्निंग कि देयर आर अल्टरनेट सोर्सेस ऑफ फ्यूल एज वेल व्हिच आर मोस्टली ग्रीन इन नेचर, व्हिच आर मोस्टली एनवायरमेंटल फ्रेंडली in nature. So it saw the participation of 57 vehicles were a part of this rally, which were basically running not on petrol or diesel, but they were running on the sustainable energy sources. For example, E20, as I told you, launched by Prime Minister recently, and also E85. E85 अब जो ये E20 जैसा ही है, जिसपे बहुत ज़्यादा इथेनॉल यहाँ पे मिक्स किया जाता है, which consists of 51% to 83% ethanol blending with gasoline. ठीक है, तो अभी with the vehicles that we drive, now those are not actually suitable for this E85, but बाद में जाके अगर मान लीजिए कि if we have got this flex vehicle, then definitely we'll be able to use this E85 fuel as well. And also the flex fuel it stands for the flexible fuel, which is an alternative fuel made of a combination of gasoline and methanol or ethanol. So you'll find E20, E85 is something but flex fuel only. And hydrogen, अभी आपको पता ही होगा how much we talk about the national hydrogen mission के बारे में, where we are trying to produce more and more green hydrogen and also promote hydrogen as a fuel source, as a source of energy, है कि नहीं. तो इसीलिए the vehicles यहाँ पे रन किए गए through hydrogen and electricity sources as well. So green mobility, it refers to the use of environmental friendly and sustainable transportation options to reduce the carbon emission and preserve natural resources. So as soon as we are shifting towards the sustainable energy sources, E20, E85, तो जो carbon emission है वो काफी कम हो जाएगा. This is the reason why the sources have been told as environmental friendly and sustainable options as well. With proper policy support, industry action, market regeneration, and increased investor interest and acceptance, India can position itself as a low-cost, zero-carbon manufacturing hub in the green mobility. At the same time, fulfilling its goal of economic development, job creation, and improve public health. Now, if we talk about some other initiative which have been a part of this Indian Energy Week, the PM has also launched the uniforms under the Unbottled initiative of the Indian Oil. ठीक है, अब Indian Oil देखिए क्या कर रहे हैं. Indian Oil जो कंपनी IOC हम कहते हैं, तो they have been basically preparing a new kind of uniform using the recycled PET bottles. तो PET bottles वो होते हैं जो हम यूज करते हैं for consuming water, जो भी दुकान में मिलता है ना, तो उसी को रिसाइकल करके यहाँ पे लाइक बनाया गया है दिस यूनिफॉर्म. तो इस कैंपेन का नाम है अनबॉटल कैंपेन. याद रखिएगा, अनबॉटल कैंपेन बिलोंग्स टू द IOCL. ठीक है, और इसी कैंपेन में IOCL कैंपेन में या यही जो इनिशिएटिव है या ये जो लाइक यू कैन सी जो टेक्नोलॉजी है, इसी को यूज करके एक जैकेट बनाया गया था. ठीक है, और ये जो जैकेट है ये प्रेजेंट किया गया था टू द प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया. एंड इंटरेस्टिंगली इन द करेंट जो यहाँ पे चल रहा है बजट सेशन, अब उसमें आप देखोगे द PM साहब हैज ऑल्सो like wore this jacket to the parliament. So this you can see is the blue jacket. ठीक है, अब ये जो blue jacket is, it has been also made from the recycled PET bottle. और उन्होंने क्यों पहना है? Basically trying to promote the use of this particular recycled जो uniforms है or clothes है. All right. So the PM also dedicated the twin cooktop model of the Indian Oil's indoor solar cooking setup system and flagged off its commercial rollout as well. इसी टॉपिक के बेसिस पर एक प्लीज प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चन है, काइंडली आंसर इन कमेंट सेक्शन. द नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल इज अबाउट द वरंग फेस्टिवल ऑफ अरुणाचल प्रदेश. तो इसी के बारे में हम चलिए बात करते हैं. इट कैन बी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर आवर प्रीलिम्स एंड आल्सो इट कैन बी इंपॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम जीएस पेपर 1 कल्चर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. It's been taken from the Arunachal Times. So the Worang Juku festival of the Olo community. All right, this is very important. The Olo community celebrates this Worang Juku festival. Now it's celebrated with much enthusiasm and traditional gaiety in the Tirap district. Okay, so this location is important, Tirap district, to which the Olo community belongs. Okay, the Olo tribe जो है, they are also known as Lazu. Now they are one of the Naga tribes that mostly resides in Arunachal Pradesh, India. Okay, so attending the festival, Namsai MLA has said that culture and religion are two different entities, and the two must not be allowed to clash with each other. ठीक है, so basically religion should be kept out of culture. Culture में यहाँ पे every religion should take part equivocally, right? So stating that festivals like Worang provide the people an opportunity to share their joy and happiness besides fostering peace and harmony. He appealed to the community members to preserve their rich culture and traditions as well. So colorful folk dances performed by the troops from the various Olo villages were some of the main attractions of this festival. इसी टॉपिक के बेसिस पर प्लीज प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चन है, काइंडली आंसर इन द कमेंट सेक्शन. The next article has been again taken from the Arunachal Times, where it is mentioned about the appointment of a new governor. Okay, so a number of new governors have been appointed in a number of various states and union territory. So the governor on Sunday appointed 6 new faces of the governor. इसी के बारे में हम बात करेंगे. So basically through this article we'll try to learn about the position of governor in the Indian polity. So which can be important for our prelims as well as it can be important for our mains GS paper to Indian polity point of view. So this you can see are the list of the new appointees of governor in various states and UT of India. तो सबसे important यहाँ पे as you can see in the picture it is General Kavalya Trivikram Parnayak. ठीक है, so he has been appointed as the governor of Arunachal Pradesh. It's very important. तो बाकी if you see you can remember the fact, and also because he was the ex like governor of Arunachal Pradesh, that is Bidhi Mishra. Now he has been appointed the governor of Ladakh. Okay, so these names if you want to remember you can remember it, but these two names are very important for our exam perspective. And now through this article, as I told you, we'll try to learn about the position of governor. So the governor's appointment, his functions and everything related to his position are basically discussed in the constitution from article 153 से लेके 162 तक. ठीक है, तो president on the other hand जो है वो आपको मिलेगा from article 52 से 62 तक. All right, very important. President on the other hand 52 से 62 and governor you will find from 153 to 162. The role of the governor is quite similar to the president of India, but the only difference is that president performs at the union level and the governor performs at the state level. Okay, so the governor stands as the executive head of the state and the working remains the same as that of the office of the president of India. It is stated the governor जो है उनको एक dual role है. ठीक है, so he is the constitutional head of the state. Obviously we know, अब देखिए when we talk about the constitutional head of India के बारे में it is the president. ठीक है, and finally if we talk about the constitutional head of state के बारे में it is the गवर्नर, ठीक है, एंड इज ऑल्सो बाउंड बाय द एडवाइस ऑफ हिज काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर. सो जिस तरीके से काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर के एडवाइस से बाउंड होते हैं एट द पार्लियामेंट, यू विल फाइंड द प्रेसिडेंट, उसी तरीके से द गवर्नर इज ऑल्सो बाउंड बाय द एडवाइस ऑफ द काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर. ही फंक्शंस एज अ वाइटल लिंक, इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट लिंक बिटवीन द यूनियन गवर्नमेंट एंड द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, ठीक है. सो सिमिलर क्योंकि बोथ आर द नॉमिनल हेड है, ठीक है. वी हैव टोल्ड दैट दे आर सिमिलर, दैट इज द प्रेसिडेंट एंड द गवर्नर, बिकॉज बोथ आर नॉमिनल हेड, ठीक है, वन एट द सेंटर एंड अदर एट द स्टेट लेवल. And now if we talk about the constitutional provisions about the governor, so the appointment and the power of the governor can be derived from the part 6. So part 6 of the Indian constitution, you should know it deals with the state government, okay, the government at the state level, and part 5 jo hai, it deals with the government at the union level, okay. So the article 153 says that there shall be a governor for each state. One person can be appointed as governor for 2 or more states. Even ab dekhoge kuch din pehle tak B.D. Mishra was appointed the governor of both Arunachal Pradesh and Meghalaya. Okay, so the governor acts in dual capacity as the constitutional head of the state and also as the representative. Okay, so he is the part of the federal system of the Indian polity and acts as a bridge between the union and the state government. Okay, he basically acts like a bridge because उनको appoint किया जाता है at the central level, but he basically works as the constitutional head of the state. So Article 157 and 158 of the Constitution of India specify eligibility requirements for the post of governor. तो यहाँ पे हम बात करेंगे अबाउट द एलिजिबिलिटी पोजीशन के बारे में. सो ही मस्ट बी सिटीजन ऑफ इंडिया, ऑब्वियसली ही मस्ट बी एटलीस्ट 35 years of age, which is again similar to the case of president, and he should not be a member of the either house of the parliament or house of the state legislature, not hold any office of profit as well. So these are the criteria that he must follow. The term of the governor's office is normally 5 years, ठीक है, but it can be terminated earlier by dismissal by the president. तो president अगर चाहे तो इस 5 years से पहले भी उनको dismiss कर सकते हैं on the advice of the council of minister headed by the prime minister of the country. So dismissal of the government without the valid reason is not permitted. However, it is the duty of the president to dismiss a governor whose acts are upheld by the courts as unconstitutional and malefied. तो अगर मान लीजिए कि any particular court is viewing his particular basically actions as unconstitutional and malefied, it is the responsibility of the president to dismiss him from the office. And also he can resign from the post voluntarily. And finally, if we look at the historical perspective of this particular position, the governor under the government of India Act 935, whereby the Raj of the Raj and for the Raj, ठीक है. बेसिकली यहाँ पे जो गवर्नर थे, आपको पता ही होगा, till 1947 तक, till we attained independence, it was the last one that was Lord Mountbatten. So you will find that no Indian governor was made a viceroy or a governor general during the British India, है कि नहीं. अब इसीलिए यहाँ पे कहा गया है 935 एक्ट में, he was by the Raj, of the Raj and for the Raj only. The Constituent Assembly wanted elected governors as proposed by a subcommittee of B.G. Kher, K.N. Kaju and P. Subarayan. Alright, लेकिन ऐसा हुआ नहीं था. Right, the apprehension of the clash between the powers of the governor and the chief minister led to the system of appointed governor in the state. अब देखिएगा कि जिस तरीके से CM का या काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर का इलेक्शन होता है, गवर्नर का इलेक्शन नहीं होता है. गवर्नर को अपॉइंट किया जाता है फ्रॉम द सेंट्रल लेवल. अब अगर मान लीजिए कि गवर्नर के लिए अगर हम यहाँ पे इलेक्शन कराते, इफ पीपल वुड हैव बीन एबल टू वोट फॉर द पोस्ट ऑफ द गवर्नर, तब क्या हो जाता, यहाँ पे पावर क्लैश होता, ठीक है. और अगर मान लीजिए कि सीएम के बीच में और सीएम एंड गवर्नर के बीच में अगर इस तरीके का पावर का क्लैश होगा, दैट वुड बी डेट्रीमेंटल फॉर डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द स्टेट. तो इसीलिए इनका जो पोजीशन है, इट हैज बीन मेड, ही हैज बीन मेड एन अपॉइंटेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव, ठीक है. सो द ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ 1948 वाज एम्बिवलेंट. एम्बिवलेंट का मीनिंग है दो ऑप्शन रहे, नॉट अ सर्टेन वन. द ड्राफ्टिंग कमिटी लीविंग इट टू द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली टू डिसाइड वेदर द गवर्नर शुड बी इलेक्टेड और नॉमिनेटेड. बट वी नो दैट वो इलेक्शन यहाँ पे द गवर्नर इज करेंटली नॉट इलेक्टेड, ठीक है. सो हाउ इज द गवर्नर अपॉइंटेड? द इंडियन प्रेसिडेंट अपॉइंट्स द गवर्नर फॉर ईच ऑफ द स्टेट बाय वारंट अंडर हिज, अभी तो हर्ड है, सो अंडर हर हैंड एंड सील. सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल टू नॉमिनेट द गवर्नर फॉर ईच स्टेट. तो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट करेगा नॉमिनेट एंड इंडियन प्रेसिडेंट वुड बी अपॉइंटिंग, ठीक है. सो अगर हम देखेंगे, अनलाइक इलेक्शन द प्रेसिडेंट, देयर इज नो डायरेक्ट और इनडायरेक्ट इलेक्शन. तो यू विल फाइंड इलेक्शन कमीशन जो है ना, इट इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर कंडक्टिंग द इलेक्शन फॉर द प्रेसिडेंट, बट इट इज नॉट रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर कंडक्टिंग द इलेक्शन ऑफ द गवर्नर, बिकॉज इनका जो इलेक्शन है, इट इज नॉट डायरेक्ट एंड नॉट इनडायरेक्ट एज वेल, ठीक है. ऑफिस ऑफ द गवर्नर इज नॉट अ पार्ट ऑफ द यूनियन एग्जीक्यूटिव एंड इट इज एन इंडिपेंडेंट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल ऑफिस. द गवर्नर डज नॉट सर्व द union government and neither it is subordinate to it. The nomination of the governor by the union and his appointment by the president in India is based on the Canadian model of government. तो आपको कोई पूछेगा कि on which model या on what basis is the we have taken up the nomination or the appointment of the governor by the central level, it is basically based on the Canadian model of government. ठीक है, तो the president you should know, अगर हम बात करेंगे about election के बारे में, the president is elected indirectly. ठीक है, हम इलेक्शन में डायरेक्टली वोट नहीं करते हैं, तो यहाँ पे इनडायरेक्ट इलेक्शन होता है बाय इलेक्टोरल कॉलेज कंसिस्टिंग ऑफ द इलेक्टेड मेंबर्स ऑफ बोथ द हाउसेस ऑफ द पार्लियामेंट, दैट इज द राज्यसभा एंड द लोकसभा. याद रखिएगा, ओनली इलेक्टेड मेंबर्स, नॉट द नॉमिनेटेड वंस, प्लस द इलेक्टेड मेंबर्स ऑफ द स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर्स ऑफ ऑल द स्टेट. ठीक है, एंड आल्सो द इलेक्टेड मेंबर्स ऑफ द लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली ऑफ 2 यूनियन टेरिटरी, दैट इज दिल्ली एंड पुडुचेरी, व्हिच हैज गॉट देयर ओन लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबलीज. इसी टॉपिक के बेसिस पर एक प्लीज प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चन है, प्लीज आंसर इन द कमेंट सेक्शन. नाउ दिस वाज द क्वेश्चन दैट आई आस्क्ड इन द प्रीवियस वीडियो. लेट्स लुक एट द आंसर्स. सो द आंसर्स फॉर द क्वेश्चंस आर, तो स्टील इंडस्ट्री के बारे में काफी इलैबोरेटली हमने डिस्कस किया था. इट क्रिएट्स पोल्यूशन एज इट यूजेस कोल एंड आयरन ओर हुज कंबशन रिलीजेस वेरियस पॉलीसाइक्लिक एरोमेटिक हाइड्रोकार्बन, पीएच कहते हैं. सो इट बेसिकली कंसिस्ट ऑफ अ नंबर ऑफ ऑक्साइड्स ऑफ सल्फर, नाइट्रोजन मोनोऑक्साइड एंड डाइऑक्साइड. तो इसीलिए 1 2 3 4 इज द करेक्ट आंसर. वी लुक अबाउट राष्ट्रीय गरिमा अभियान के बारे में. इट इज टू इरेडिकेट द प्रैक्टिस ऑफ मिनरल स्कैवेंजिंग एंड रिहैबिलिटेट द mineral scavengers, and India's first Amrit Sarovar has been completed in the Gram Panchayat in Uttar Pradesh, जो कि रामपुर में हुआ है. ठीक है, very important. It is the first tank, or you can say first Amrit Sarovar project. So for now, that was all from our side for this session. Thank you so much for joining in. We'll meet the next one. Bye bye and take care.